Hey, this is Angie here with Apostrophe S. I'm so excited to be showing you our Aloe and Friends Radiance. It's our felt succulent box. This is honestly one of my favorite crafts that we've done so far because you're so proud of it when it's done. It's way fun to make with all the different succulents and colors, and when you're finished, it's perfect on an end table, coffee table, or my personal favorite, set up on its side on a shelf as the perfect little accent piece up there, pop of color behind a frame. It could even be hung on the wall with a command strip like those succulent wall gardens that are all over Pinterest. There's just so many different things that you can do with this. It's a lot of fun. So gather your girlfriends, find a chick flick to turn on with your dirty sodas in hand, and let's go ahead and get started. Now when you get your package, this is what's gonna come in it. You're gonna get, of course, the wood box that it's actually in, some gray stain, brown wash, 2 foam brushes, 1 for each of those, a rag to use, these plastic cups to pour your stain and wash in, some wooden die cut circles, and then all of your felt succulents there, and also 2 chipboard risers. But I'll show you what those are used for in a little bit. When you pull all of those felt succulents out of the box, this is what you're gonna see is just this beautiful array of colors and different cuts to make all these different kinds and shapes of succulents. That's what makes it so fun. Things you're gonna need from home, you're gonna need some nice scissors, and you're also going to need a hot glue gun, and you'll wanna just go ahead and turn that on now. You're gonna need it hot the entire time. If you have a low heat setting one, that would be perfect for this. If you don't, I was fine. I used just a hot one. I just have a regular, no different setting, and it was fine. So that's what you're gonna need from home, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so our first step is gonna be with the box. What you're gonna need is you're gonna need the stain in the wash, your 2 foam brushes, and then your 2 plastic cups as well with your rag. So as you can see over here, I've started to paint my gray stain on. What you're gonna do is just simply give it a good shake first, then pour some of it into one of the cups. And you're just gonna simply put a nice, just quick coat over the entire thing. It doesn't have to be thin, it doesn't have to be super thick, because you're gonna go over it again with the wash, so it doesn't really matter, to be honest, how thick or thin it is. It's just totally up to your preference if you want it more gray or if you want it to have a little bit more brown, rustic, dirty look to it. On the inside here, you can tell over here, you don't have to be super clean with it. You're never gonna see it, so go ahead and just quickly do the inside as fast as you can. It doesn't really matter if you get it on the bottom. You're never gonna see it. So you're gonna paint the entire thing, top and bottom. You don't need to paint this middle piece because you're not gonna see it again. Then after you're done with that, set it aside and you can make some of the felt flowers. I've painted over here so that it's dry so I can just show you the next step. So you're gonna need your wash, give it a good little shake, pour some of it into your other cup, and grab your other foam brush. And what you're gonna do with that is you're just gonna go over the gray, and once you've gone over it, you're gonna take your rag and you're just going to wipe it off. It's totally up to you on how dark you wanna do it. What I like to do on mine is I like to do 1 coat, wipe it off, and then just keep going around, but then also go again, because I really like the brown look on it. I think it looked really cute when it was all done. And that's how I did mine, so that it kind of gave it more of a dirty, weathered look rather than just the plain gray. But that's how you go ahead and do the board, or the box. And then when you're all done with that, just set it aside and let it dry until you're done with all of your felt succulents. So the first step for those, we're gonna grab these stems. And these are the ones you're gonna have that come in the kit, and I'll show you how to make them. I would just get all of these done right at the beginning so that you don't have to worry about them going throughout the rest of the process. So we'll go ahead and make a light green one here. So you're gonna need your hot glue gun for this step and for all of the rest really from here on out. You'll see here I have a silicone mat that I found easy to make these on. If you don't have one of these, even like an old baking silicone mat would honestly work. It just keeps it so that you don't get glue onto your surface because it just comes off super easy off of this. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your stem and do 1 thin line of glue right along the tip. You wanna leave it a little far down just so that, just so that then you have some room to fold it over. Do one little tiny fold all along the top. Careful not to burn yourself. And you're just gonna hold it down until the glue dries. Next, you're gonna do one tight roll, as tight as you can get it. Hold it with your fingers and do another thin line of glue all along. And you're just gonna continually roll it as tight as you can. Do one more roll. And then this line of glue you wanna try to get along the edge as close as you can. Then you're gonna do the last roll. Hold it for a minute, and then to get it nice and tight, just roll it nice together. It doesn't matter if glue gets on the outside of the stem because you're never gonna see it. And that's how you do the stems. So go ahead and do it for all of these ones. And then we'll move on to the next step. Let's go ahead and start with some of the succulents. We're gonna go ahead and start with, we'll do this orange one first. So this orange one is one of my favorites because of the color and also because of the versatility that it has. So mostly what you're gonna hear me say throughout this whole thing is start on the little end, go to the big end. On this particular flower though, it's kind of fun because you can start on the big end and go to the little end. I'll show you here. This one I started on the big and went to little, and so it kind of gives it more fluff in the middle there. And then this one we started with the little and went to the big, and so it popped it out a little bit further. So I personally like to do like at least one like this just to give it a little different variety, but both are super cute, so whatever you prefer. Now before you start on any of your succulents you're gonna see some of these little tiny pieces. That one's really little, but you're just gonna want to pop those out before. They should come out nice and easy. They're just little, they're already cut out felt pieces, but you'll notice them, especially on these ones here. You're gonna notice a lot of them in there that you just need to pop out. So pop those out before you actually start any of them. And then let's get started. So on this orange one, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a tiny dot of glue right at the little end here, or the big, like I said, whatever one you choose. Just a little bit of glue and do that first initial fold over. Just like you did on the stem, it's very little. And then just hold that until it dries. Should be fairly quick. Then I liked to get a few rolls started, like maybe 2. And then you're gonna hold it there. And from here on out, you're just gonna glue about 1 inch at a time and continually roll it along. Now you want to keep it so that the bottom, when you're all done, is going to be flat and not have any funnel shape or anything like that. You want this one to be completely flat on the bottom. So you're just going to continually do that all the way until the end. Okay, now when it's at the end, just make sure that end petal there is glued down really well at the base. Give it a good fluff, and your first succulent is all done. And like I said, the bottom here, it's all flat, all mesh. That's what you want to see so that it can sit flat into the box. And there's your first one. Way to go. Okay. Let's move on to the next one that we're going to do. So the next one we're going to do are this set here. This one comes in multiple colors. It comes in some of these light blues, this like darker green, and then the really dark green on top. So this one, let's go ahead, we're going to do this light blue one. Again, you're going to start at the little end there, and it's honestly the exact same step. Do a little tiny thing of glue right at the beginning there. Do that first initial fold over. Hold it until it dries. Do a few more rolls. I like to do these few rolls at the beginning just because these ones are so tight and little that they're super easy to burn yourself with. So I like to just get them over with without any glue, and they'll still hold together just great because of how much glue you have on the rest of the project. So then you do 1 inch at a time, or 1.5 inches, whatever you feel comfortable with, and continue to wrap, gluing along the way. All right, and I'll just show you. So you just keep wrapping it all the way until the end, and when these ones are all done, this is what they look like. You just give them a good little fluff, and they're all set to go. All right, now on to the next one. So let's go ahead and do this one. Now this one here, you're gonna notice it comes in green and in pink, but they're done 2 different ways. So you're gonna wanna separate them. We're gonna do the pink first. So the pink one goes with the pink stem. And what you're gonna do with the stem is simply just cut it in half, so you're gonna have 2 halves about this size. It doesn't matter if they're perfectly even. You'll see why in just a minute. So then what you're gonna do is, again, make sure you go through, take out these little pieces that are just stuck in there. Just little extras that didn't quite get pulled out. So you're just gonna pop those out. Now this one's gonna be different. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your stem first and just simply put a little line of glue along the very top of your stem. Okay, and you wanna make sure to go all the way around the stem. Then you're gonna take the little end again, and you're gonna pop it right on there and wrap it all the way around. You want to wrap it fairly tight so that it stays on and gives it a good, cute middle of the flower. Now this one you're going to keep gluing while wrapping it along. So the stem on this one basically just gives you the middle piece in here that you're never going to see, but it just gives it so it has a little bit more dimension rather than glued together like we've been doing the others. So I found it easiest on this one to just wrap, and about every half wrap, just put a little dot of glue. And then continue wrapping all the way, just gluing completely along the way. When you're all done wrapping, this is what you're gonna have. Is this right here, onto the stem. When you're all said and done with it, you're gonna take the scissors and snip it right along right there, and then it will be flat on the bottom like all the others are. Okay? Once you've actually cut the stem off on this one, you're gonna grab 3 of your wood chips that come in the kit. Simply put a dot of glue in between each one, gluing them together. And then you're just gonna glue them right onto the bottom of this flower. The reason we do this is just to give the flower a little bit more height, just because then we don't want it buried underneath some of these other succulents that are a little bit taller. So glue 3 of the wood chips together for each of these pink flowers and glue them right onto the bottom. Next, we're gonna go ahead and do the green of the same cut. On this one, what you're gonna do is you're gonna start it the same way as we just started the pink, by doing the same hot glue line along the top of the stem. Doing the first initial wrap all the way around. And this one I liked to go around, so this is one wrap right here. I like to go around maybe 2, maybe 3 times, just depending on how you like it, just to give it a little bit more fluff right at the top. So just like that, okay? After you've done that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna start gradually descending down the stem. So just put a little dot of hot glue, and you're gonna take this base and just go right underneath the base that you already have there. and you're just gonna wrap it, gluing along the way. And it's gonna be about the same about every half turn. Just put a dot of glue. And you're gonna keep going all the way down the stem until it looks like this. You're gonna have some stem left at the end. You'll trim it when you're all setting it in your box and everything, but just set it aside for now, just exactly the length that it is, and that way, if you need it that long, you have it, and if not, you can trim it then. Now this green one kind of looks like grass. Okay, there's 2 of them that come with it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find the small end, which is right here, and you're gonna do it that same way we did the orange one earlier. You're gonna put that line of glue, do the first initial turn over, hold it until it dries, give it a few more tight wraps, and then glue it along the way. So this one is just that same step, just gluing the whole way, keeping the bottom flat together. And you're just gonna continually, I'm just gonna wrap it up so I can show ya. Just keep wrapping and gluing all the way to the end. Securing that last leaf really well. Give it a good fluff. And that's what this one looks like. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one next. So this one has 2 of these lighter green and then 1 of these darker green ones. These ones are some of my favorite ones. So let's go ahead and do one of these lighter green ones. Find that little end, and believe it or not, it's that same step. Do that first initial, fold over, first few wraps, glue about 1.5 inches, and then wrap along the way. And then this one, you want that bottom to be flat again, of course, just so that it's flat on the box. And then when you're all done with these ones, you're going to need those wood chips again, but instead of gluing 3 together like you did for the pink flower, that little pink flower, what you're going to do is you're actually just going to take 1 of the wood chips and glue 1 right onto the bottom. And that's all. So you'll see on this one, oh, this one doesn't have it on there, but you're going to glue that right on there onto that flat bottom. Gives it a little bit of extra height, so it stands a little taller in the box. These blue and green color though, we're going to do differently. We're going to just look at the purple ones for right now. So for the purple, you're going to just take the little end, do a line of glue, the initial fold over, and I'm sure you can guess, continual wrapping, gluing along the way. And then this succulent here, this is going to be the last one to use your wood chips. So when you're all done wrapping and gluing this one completely, so you just keep wrapping and rolling, doing it as tight as you can, keeping this as flat as you can, all the way until the end, you're going to have this little tiny little bud, purple bud, super cute. And again, glue 1 little wood chip right onto the bottom. Now let's go ahead and do these ones. They're cut the same way as the purple, but they are done completely differently. So for these ones here, you're going to need the rest of your stems. So go ahead and grab those. I'll do this color here. Now this has a step before you begin wrapping anything. And what it's going to do, you see these last 3, I don't even know the word to use for those, but these last 3 petals here, you're gonna just simply snip them off. The reason for that is because if you don't, I personally think that it comes down too far and then they stick too far out of the box. So if you cut those off, then it gives it the perfect length of finished succulent, and so it's really cute out of the box, or sticking out, and not too long. Okay, so cut those ones off. You can just throw these away. You're not going to use them. Then you're going to start this the same way that you start the others. You just simply do that first fold over, let it dry, roll it a few more times. As you can tell, I have to always have these a certain way or else I burn myself. You'll find your way and it'll go smooth for you then. Okay, so this one you just glue again about 1.5 inches. And then you're gonna stop when this base is about as wide as the base of the stem. Okay? Then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna put a dab of glue onto that and glue the stem and the base together. So just hold that for a minute. Once that's dry, then you're gonna do your glue, along this again, just like you have been, but instead of wrapping it just even so the bottom's flat, you're gonna go down the stem now. And it's gonna be a very gradual go down, because you don't want it to be too long and crazy. You want it to be kind of tight and cute together. But you're gonna keep gluing and going down the stem. Okay, so you're gonna keep wrapping. This one you wanna play with a little bit too. So you don't wanna pull it like super, super tight so all the petals are in the same spot. You wanna kind of move it around. Make sure you like where it's at. What you could even do is wrap it before you glue it. Just like wrap a little bit, see if you like it, and then glue it that way. But you're gonna do that. Wrap it nice and tight, and that is what this one looks like. Or the darker colors, that's what that one looks like there. This one's wrapped a little tighter than I just wrapped mine there, you can see. But that's how you do these ones. Now these ones come in 2 different colors. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take, these ones are super long. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find that little end again. And you're gonna start it that same way. Just a dot of glue. About the inch and a half of glue, and keep rolling. Keeping that bottom as flat as possible. You're gonna do that all the way around, and this is what these ones look like. These ones are really fun. The petals really stick out and they're super cute in there. I really like these ones. So that's how you do these succulents here. And we just have one more to show you, and it's this one here. This one's another one you're gonna wanna go through, make sure that all of these are out. Just the little extra pieces that get stuck in there. Take those ones out. And I'm going to show you on this dark one here. So you're going to start on the big end, or excuse me, start on the little end. Do that first initial dot of glue. And then this one, do about 1 inch at the beginning, rolling it mesh, so the bottom's flat, I should say, rather than mesh. Okay. Once you get to about this point, what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a little line of glue, but instead of keeping this bottom flat now, you're gonna do a very gradual descend down, okay? So basically this base that's a little wider than most of the other succulent bases that we've done so far is gonna turn into its own stem, in a sense. So you're just gonna keep gradually going down. You're gonna notice as we get going down that this middle here, the inside in there, is gonna start making a funnel. And with that, it can sometimes like weaken it because you can squish it together. What I found best to do is just every once in a while, just take a stopping point, put a dot of glue, and really mix it around in there. That helps stiffen the sides together, and so that way it stays nice and strong in the middle of the succulent. So continue to wrap that around, gradually descending down. This is a finished one here. You're gonna see it's nice and tall, gives it that extra height from descending down, and then also that middle is just the funnel that you can stick your finger into. It's nice and hard because of all the glue that I've put on the inside as I've done it, but that's what it looks like when it's all done. Okay, so now that we got all of our succulents done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the box together. So grab these risers that we have in there and simply just pop them down along the scored edges. Sometimes it's a little easier if you take it next to like the edge of a counter or a table or something, and then that way it'll pop it down really nice and crisp for you, or just work with it. They'll pop down. Pretty simple. Do it for the little one as well. Then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna pop that big one into the box, push this little one into those scored spots that are already on that middle one till it's nice and secure. You can add a line of hot glue along the edges there to really secure it in there. I would definitely recommend doing that if you're gonna display it on like a shelf or something on its side. That way that you don't have to worry about it falling out at all. So secure that in there really good. Now comes the fun part. You get to play with your succulents, put them all in there, see how you like them. Just place them all in there before you do anything, before you glue them all. Just place them in there and see where you like to place them and see where they look good. This is how we did ours. This was our, around the border, I guess, would be the word I'm looking for. This was our border here. This was our middle section. You definitely don't have to do it the way that we did. I love how it turned out. So this is just how we did it here. If you want it to look the exact same way, of course you can. And if not, play with them until you like them. Once you've got them all where you like them, put a dab of hot glue and glue them on one by one, making sure that you don't miss any and that they're all secure. And this is the finished project. Make sure to hit the subscribe button below to see our newest projects that are coming out. You're gonna love what's coming soon, so make sure to hit that below. Tag us in the photos of your finished projects on Instagram. We'd love to see how yours turn out. Apostrophe S, make it yours.